Thank you everyone for being here today. It's so amazing to see so many friends and familiar faces and all our donors for tonight's event and our staff. I want to take a minute to just thank them for being amazing. They always go above and beyond. Like everything we do, they do it with so much care and compassion and empathy, and they are really amazing. So if you're a member of the Watershed Project team, please wave your hand so that we can see you. And please give them a big round of applause. I also want to thank our board members. We have some of our current and also past board members here. And it's really a testament to their commitment to community and to investing in what they believe, that they have put their time and effort into our organization and helping us grow and navigate all different challenges. So if you're a board member, also wave your hand so that we can thank you. And last but not least, to all of you for being here tonight. So it has been really a labor of love to bring this organization from what it was just an idea that communities can really get together to transform the land and their local environment when they have a dream and kind of collaborate and kind of have a vision. And the Watershed Project really leaned into that from the beginning. So we started really long time ago, like 30 years ago, first kind of planting seeds in the elementary school programs. Our Kids in Creeks and our Kids in Marshes program has been really kind of the gold standard for environmental education programming around the Bay Area. And we did a lot of training a lot of teachers around the San Francisco Bay to bring their students outdoors, so to do environmental education in their classrooms. And that model really had a lot of ripples over the years. We can estimate that over 50,000 students have received our curriculum, and that has really had a long-lasting impact. And really, it starts with love. So students at the beginning just learn to love their watershed and discover in a really kind of unstructured, me and my watershed is kind of the foundation of the connection that we try to bring for the students. And then as they grow older, they start to think about how it relates to their neighborhood and their community, and then how it relates to the planet and to complex situations like climate change and environmental injustices, and maybe kind of how to bring equity into their communities. And so with that, we started partnering with the students, with their teachers, with the administrators, and then it started to grow into how do we go into the public space as well. So another aspect of our work was to say, okay, how can we help people get organized? And the watershed groups started to flourish, and we kind of seeded all this network of environmental stewardship groups, like the Friends of the Creek. And back in 2005, we had something like 10 groups that got started. And many of them have survived to today, and some are some of the kind of best examples of community organizing around the Bay. So that model really was at the beginning, and now the Watershed Project decided to really focus on bringing equity into the space. So not everybody could organize themselves. Not every teacher could self-advocate for their students. So we say, okay, we have to go to the Title I schools, to the communities where we see that the community is not getting organized, there is low income, or maybe they're non-English speakers that needed more support. So with that, we started to just go into the neighborhoods and go into the communities to evaluate kind of how we could help and remove more of the barriers. So we found out that mud was really a very good way of getting kids organized around how they felt around the environment. And there is nothing better than to see a kid that normally would have felt that they were allergic to grass or that they didn't like the environment, at the end of the field trip be really happy and engaged, covered in mud in the middle of the Point Pinole mud flats. And we see it, like the teachers tell us all the time that kids that normally are not engaged in academics, like when they like going to the field trips, they're really engaged, and then they remember the field trip as their favorite day of the entire school year. But as we think about the neighborhoods, then the challenge became a little bigger. So we wanted to think about how do we retrofit these neighborhoods so that they are kind of work better like a forest. Like how can we retrofit like the city so that they are spongy, so that there is like more canopy, there is more trees, there is like more nature in the cities. And how do we reconnect the community to those resources? So we decided to partner with the municipalities and with the school districts, not only to transform the relationship of people with nature, but also to transform the environment. And that took a turn for us. We needed to grow. We needed to think about how to organize around like very long-term projects. So we became really like visionaries of what could be done alongside the community. So we will meet with people who will dream about what to do about sea level rise, for instance, and say, what do you want to protect? And then how can we protect it? And we have stuck with this planning process for over 20 years. And many of the projects that we dream have actually come to be. So we're really proud of the projects that we have inspired or that we have shepherded. We have an amazing demonstration project at the Stitch Marsh along the South Richmond shoreline. We were part of a very successful effort to green the Richmond Greenway, which is a rails to trails project, where like 17 organizations, yes! 17 organizations got together to say, what can we do with this like empty lot that really has brought only like kind of like a division between one side of the city and the other one? How can we bridge this? So the Watershed Project was in charge of helping design Unity Park, and we hired about 50 people from the community to help us plan this project. And then we partnered with the city to bring the funds so that it could become a reality. And today, the Unity Park and the surrounding gardens is one of the most successful community-led restoration and community building projects of the city. So we're so proud of that. And lastly, like we have an amazing team working in our workforce development projects. And today we have many of our Green Color Corps members here. If you're a member of the Corps, raise your hand. This project, this program is an understanding that like we really not only need to think about what we're going to do to transform the environment, but with whom and how can we create jobs that are like good jobs in this community that normally in Richmond, for instance, where we work, are areas that have been heavily impacted by Chevron and other like environmental hazards and problems. So for us, it was really important to do something that was bringing not only solutions to the problem, but also bringing people along with us. So a lot of the work that we do is bringing connections to people, and also in this case, we're looking for a green workforce that is helping us build a better tomorrow. So with that, I didn't read my speech because it was really small. But as we face the next 30 years, we know that there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot more opposition to this type of work that we do in the current environment. And for us, it's really important to have your support. And so I'm so happy to have you here today. And we are really encouraged by the amount of support that we have seen so far, but I do want to encourage you to continue to give. Tonight we have a silent auction in the back, and we also have the opportunity to donate by text and also by QR code. So we'll give you more of that instruction in a minute. But like the individual support and how we bring connections to the work that we do is very important to us, because in this journey, we really want to be visionaries of what we want to see in the future and make it happen. So with that, I just want to thank you again. And so here it is for another 30 years of environmental impact. And thank you for coming.